Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. A second U.S. Airman, a weapons control officer from an F-15E fighter jet recently shot down in Iran, has been successfully rescued. Initial reports confirmed the first pilot's rescue, but the second officer was missing until today, April 5th. He reportedly survived over 24 hours hiding in mountainous terrain, armed only with a handgun. The complex rescue mission involved hundreds of U.S. Special Operations personnel, during which U.S. forces engaged in a firefight and killed 5 Iranians. Additionally, 2 U.S. transport aircraft, which were on the rescue mission, experienced malfunctions and became stranded, leading U.S. forces to destroy them to prevent their capture. Meanwhile, Iran's official Tasnim news agency and Mehr news agency reported that a U.S. search and rescue plane, identified as a C-130 transport aircraft, was shot down in Isfahan province. This report comes from Sing Tao. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, announced on Sunday that it was behind recent attacks on petrochemical plants in the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and Bahrain. The IRGC explicitly stated its intention to continue large-scale attacks against U.S. economic interests in its Persian Gulf neighbors. This declaration came with a warning to the United States. If Washington persists in striking Iranian civilian targets, the IRGC's retaliatory attacks on American economic interests will intensify. The article, sourced from Thai Sounds, detailed significant damage from these strikes, including severe damage to 2 desalination plants, power plants, and the Kuwait National Petroleum Company factory in Kuwait. The Barouj chemical plant in the UAE was forced to shut down after an attack and fire, while a petrochemical plant in Bahrain also caught fire, with damage currently being assessed. U.S. President Donald Trump has reportedly issued an ultimatum, threatening to fully bomb Iran's power and energy facilities by Monday if Iran does not allow normal passage through the Strait of Hormuz. Al Jazeera reports that Ukrainian drones launched overnight attacks on key Russian oil infrastructure. The strikes targeted the Baltic seaport of Primorsk and the Nizhny oil refinery in the central Nizhny Novgorod region. According to Ukrainian Drone Forces commander Robert Brovy, these operations were successful. Russian officials confirmed the incidents, with Leningrad region Governor Alexander Drozdenko initially reporting a pipeline damage at Primorsk, later clarifying it as a fuel reservoir leak caused by shrapnel. In Nizhny Novgorod, Governor Gleb Nikitin stated that a fire erupted at the Nizhny refinery, Russia's 4th largest, hitting 2 facilities. A power station and several houses were also damaged, though no injuries were reported. These attacks are part of Ukraine's intensified efforts to disrupt Russia's oil revenue, which funds its war. Last month, approximately 40% of Russia's oil exporting capabilities were reportedly shut down due to similar strikes. The closure of the Druzhba pipeline and the seizure of Russia-linked tankers. Meanwhile, diplomatic efforts to end the conflict have stalled over territorial concessions, and a scheduled 4th round of talks was postponed due to the U.S.-Israel war on Iran. Finance ministers from Spain, Germany, Italy, Portugal, and Austria are urging the European Union to impose a bloc-wide windfall tax on energy companies. This call, reported by City News Everywhere, comes amidst concerns that surging oil and gas prices, exacerbated by the ongoing war in Iran, will significantly fuel inflation and place undue strain on European households. Spanish Economy Minister Carlos Cuerpo made public a letter sent to the European Commission highlighting market distortions caused by the price spike and emphasizing the need for fair burden distribution. Europe, heavily reliant on imported energy, remains vulnerable to such external shocks. The letter references the EU's solidarity contribution in 2022. A similar measure enacted after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine led to double-digit inflation. The ministers believe a similar EU-wide instrument would send a clear message that those profiting from the war's consequences must contribute to easing the public's financial burden. This comes as the annual inflation rate in Euro countries rose to 2.5% in March, largely due to higher oil prices following Iran's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. 联合早报 reports that the ongoing Middle East conflict, sparked by the Iran war and the disruption of the Hormuz Strait, has dramatically cut global oil and gas supplies by a fifth. This crisis is evolving beyond rising energy prices to a widespread everything shortage, profoundly impacting petrochemical-dependent industries. Naphtha, a crucial raw material for various synthetic materials with limited reserves and few alternatives, is at the core of this supply crunch. Asian manufacturing, which accounts for half of the world's output, is bearing the brunt, with countries like South Korea facing garbage bag shortages and Taiwan establishing hotlines for struggling plastic manufacturers. The medical sector is also vulnerable, with concerns over blood dialysis tube and medical glove supplies. Commodity market data shows significant price increases for plastic resins, and experts warn the challenge has shifted from high prices to physical scarcity. Even if shipping routes normalize, Asia's plastic industry will need months to recover. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.